You know, the world knows me as Joe Exotic, but my real name is Joseph Maldonado.
Do you ever wonder about the thunder?
What made you want to start this place?
Well, it's kind of a long story, so I'll try and cut it short for you, all right? But me and my brother had a 40,000 square foot pet store in Arlington, Texas for 16 years, and we, sold exotic animals. We did rehab for native animals and all that stuff. And then October the 14th of 1997, he was moving my sister from Arlington to Florida, and he made it to Dallas, and a drunk semi-driver hit him and killed him. And before I signed the papers to shut his life support machine off, I promised him that he wouldn't die for no reason. He wouldn't just be another statistic of a drunk driver. So me and my mom and dad, we sold the pet store. They took the insurance money that they got, and we combined the profits together. And we bought this property, and we built this originally in memory of my brother, and that's why it's named GW.
Wow.
And one of his dreams was to go to Africa and see the real deal, go in the bush with the native people and see the animals running free. And since he didn't do that, we decided to rescue the animals that he wanted to see.
Wow.
And that's why I'm here.
So what's your mission with this place?
We have several missions. One is, to give misplaced animals a place to live, for the rest of their life. We breed. We're part of a very, very intense species survival plan to make sure that we're doing this correct and the information that we put out there is true. And, you even as a student and a person who lives in Oklahoma, probably will never go to Africa.
Right.
Or India or anywhere where these animals are from. So, the biggest thing is, and one of the biggest things we combat out there with the animal rights people is they say that if I get a baby tiger out and let you cuddle it and play with it, that's abuse, okay? But having a baby tiger, shut your radios off. Having a baby tiger in your lap will make you understand while I'm talking to you and make you appreciate saving the rainforest and these animals as habitat much more than if I sit in a classroom. Because I used to tour, doing magic for 9 years, and I did lectures and everything else. Without the animal, you can't keep people's attention long enough to explain to them. And once you meet that animal and you fall in love with a baby tiger, you might remember next time you go to the store what products are coming from their environment that are killing them, okay? So that's the combined mission here is we're hoping to save the species because we're not going to save them in the wild. In 10 years they're going to be extinct. That's a matter of fact. People breed worse than rabbits. And we're destroying their habitat at the rate of 214,000 acres a day because we're cutting down their forest for plywood, toilet paper, and everything else. So captive tigers, unfortunately, we'd all love to just go turn these all loose in the jungle.
Right.
But we have to face the fact that in today's world, and even in America, when a bear comes up on somebody's back porch in California, what do? They put him down because he's a danger to human beings.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, the animals don't have any rights in the wild anymore because we've taken over. So they got to live in cages. So we just got to make it as comfortable for them to live in cages, or in 50 years, nobody's ever going to see one.
Yeah. Right.
And that's a combined mission of what I do here.
Okay. How do you go about rescuing the tigers?
Well, 10 years ago, a whole lot of people own tigers as private pets. Okay. Those days are over. All right. Most of the people that have had tigers got old, they can't take care of them anymore, or the owners have passed away. And we took a lot of animals and tigers from private homes that people have in their yards. Nowadays, it's sanctuaries. We're cleaning out sanctuaries that are going broke or belly up. And I don't like the word sanctuary, and that's why we call this a zoo for unwanted animals, because in my opinion, a sanctuary, and I can really dig into that here in a minute, is nothing but a private owner with a hoarding problem. Okay, that has found a loophole around paying taxes by being a nonprofit.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, who is a private owner in this country? Okay, every sanctuary, every zoo, Okay, there are hardly no city-owned zoos anymore. Oklahoma City Zoo is a private zoo, and it started with a menagerie back in the day of 2 animals. And it just happened to grow, and then they got sales tax money, you know, off the city, and it's an entertainment thing now.
Right.
But it's still a private owner.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
because it's a nonprofit organization. It's not owned by the city of Oklahoma City, and that's where people really get so much confused. Is everything's against private owners? Well, everybody's a private owner because it's not a government-owned facility. So when you start reading online that we should ban private ownership, the only thing that you see on private ownership being banned on private ownership are the people making millions off of scamming for the animals that call themselves a sanctuary. So what makes them any better than you or me? You know, it's just who has the best marketing plan and the most people on social media.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to.
That's right. Okay. Do you breed?
I
your
do breed.
retainers?
You bet. I'm actually the world's leading expert of hybridization of big cats. Okay, a lot of people on the internet, a lot of people with animal rights organizations. Oh, you know, they make millions. This slamming people on the internet. If I can put a picture of you tonight on my Facebook and tell people that you have a pit bull tied to a tree in your backyard and you beat him every day, I could raise $2,000 by midnight. Honest to God. Because there's so many people out there in the world that love animals and they believe every damn heart-jerking story there is out there. Okay, so there's stories out there, you know, that say hybrid animals are born with genetic defects, their babies are too big to be born, or don't live as long. That's all crap. It's all crap because we've proven it with genetic testing of breeding hybrids. I'm the only one in the world who has bred ligers, teligers, tigons, and lalagers. Why do we do this? Okay. Because it proves 2 things. One, all big cats are genetically the same. Okay. I believe that all of our cats derive from the saber-toothed tiger. Millions of years ago. Okay. During the Ice Age, they got trapped on other continents. When it melted, they grew to the environment. Okay. Me and you genetically are the same. Okay, but your skin color is black, and when you're in Africa, you know, when black people live in Africa, they're shorter, you know. Why? Because it's hotter, and we grew to our environment. But inside genetically, our DNA is and our genetics, we're still the same human being. It's the same way with big cats. You can breed a lion to a leopard. You can breed a leopard to a bobcat. The secret is they have to grow up together to get rid of the discrimination between the 2 species. Okay, because they're from different parts of the world. You can't throw an adult tiger and an adult lion together and expect them to get along. Okay, like we can't throw Trump and Hillary Clinton in the same room and expect them to get along. Okay, so they got to grow up together. And nobody done this or does this because you can't make money doing it, because it takes 5 years in between each step, between they're born to the minute that they can have conception and have babies is 5 years. So I've been at this process for over 16 years now, and I'm on my last step to prove that they all derive from a saber-toothed tiger. Okay, but it's a $500 million a year business on the internet, lying about all this stuff. Okay. So the other reason that we do it is it proves that genetically a hybrid animal is stronger than a purebred animal. Okay, and to put it in layman's terms for you to understand it, and it's kind of a little funnier explanation, is go get a mutt dog from a dog pound. Okay, take him home, let him get run over twice, feed him rat poison, and he never needs to go to the doctor. Why? Because genetically he's stronger. Go get yourself a purebred Doberman Pinscher or a poodle or something like that, and you're constantly at the pet store buying specialty diets because your stomach's a wreck, they got skin allergies, their eyes are watery. Why? Because genetically they've been bred too long. Okay, so why do we want hybrid cats? Okay, we've been able to create a much larger, much genetically stronger, lives just as long, living incubator to hide that tiger DNA inside of. Okay? If they ever become extinct, we can put a tiger back on our planet.
Oh, wow.
That's why I do this. And that's why the animal rights people and the people that combat, oh, you shouldn't be breeding tigers in America, are pissed off because I'm ruining their plan, okay? Because they're making money and I'm proving they're wrong. It's the same thing with white tigers, okay? It's a money-making business. There was only one white tiger ever in the world born with a snub nose. Looked like he has Down syndrome. His name was Kenny, and he's been dead for several years now. But he lived at a place in Turpentine Creek over in Arkansas. And they exploited that poor tiger till the cows came home. All white tigers are inbred, or they look like this, okay? And people just giving money, fist over fist, okay, to stop breeding of white tigers. Okay, well, the truth behind white tigers is they derive from a heterozygous tiger, which is an orange tiger that carries the white gene. And you can walk in any zoo and tell what a heterozygous tiger is by looking in their eyes. If they got a blue tint or a green tint to their eyes, they carry the white gene. Okay, there's no such thing as a white Siberian tiger. All colored tigers come from Bengal tigers. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's another thing. You know, as famous as Siegfried and Roy is, they scamming the public, saving the great Siberian white tiger. There's no such thing as a Siberian white tiger. Okay, so the process, and you know, inbreeding goes on in everything. Dogs, cats, tigers, people. You know, we can't stop it. Okay, the people that are just breeding to make money, inbreed. Okay, but the truth of inbreeding to get a white tiger is absolutely false. It's nothing but a money-making scam, because they derive from two orange tigers. Okay, you can breed two white tigers all day long for the rest of their life, and it's not ever going to produce a white tiger if that gene's not strong enough. They'll always have orange tigers.
Right.
So we couldn't control when that white gene's going to pop up if we wanted to,
Yeah.
by inbreeding or not inbreeding.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, and that, you know, if I successfully do anything in my lifetime, it is to stop the lies and the scams of these people making money out there telling lies and taking people's money. And it's the worst thing, you know, because when we had the May 3rd tornado in Oklahoma, you know, the Humane Society of the United States came in and they raised $1.7 million to take care of all these people's animals that were in the tornado. Okay, well, the Humane Society of the United States doesn't even own a shelter. They use that name to make you think that they're funding the Oklahoma Humane Society, okay? And they don't. It's just a marketing firm owned by a man named Wayne Pacelli. And he's got the biggest jet you've ever seen. He's got the best pension fund you've ever seen. And he's a multi-millionaire because and what makes me even sadder about all this is off of the people who died in that tornado and all the people's animals who got displaced in that tornado. And he took all the money and not a dime of it stayed in Oklahoma. Okay, and that's what people, you know, every day when I do my shows here at the park, quit giving your money away to people on the internet. There's so many scams out there, especially animals, because we all love animals, you know. And I could take my film crew today and I could go put 10 tigers in a tiny little cage and make it sound like I'm rescuing them from you in your backyard. Put a commercial on Facebook or on TV, $19.99 a month to help us save all these tigers trapped in this little cage. And people just give you money.
Yeah.
Right.
It's that easy, and it's so sad because right now people can't afford health care, they can't afford the Social Security, you know, they can't pay their bills, but they're giving their money away to crooks on the internet because they love animals.
All right. How many tigers do you have here?
214.
How do you take care of them?
We have a staff of 18 people here that feed and clean every cage every day, and we go through 40,000 pounds of meat a week, and it costs close to $60,000 a month that I have to scrape and scrounge to find, especially when it's raining because you don't have any customers. To keep them fed, okay, we have one grocery store chain that I'm not allowed to say their name. It supplies us with a lot of their outdated meat and the meat that they can't sell, you know. But we have to subsidize that with bought-in meat. You know, and that's another scam out there. I can healthily feed, according to the Animal Welfare Act, and you see how fat they are.
They're healthy.
I can feed a tiger for $25 a week, okay? And that comes down to about $3,000 a year, okay? And you'll have everybody out there scamming the public, raising money saying it costs them $10,000 a year to feed a tiger.
Yeah.
And people believe it because they don't ever put no research behind anything, and they don't ever do the math before they start handing over the money.
Do you have like vets that come and
We
check
have
on?
we have a staff vet, yes ma'am, and that's all part of being USDA licensed by the United States Department of Agriculture. Is we have to have a staff vet, we have to have protocols, and you know all that stuff.
Okay. What other kinds of animals do you have?
Oh my God, we got black bears, we got grizzly bears, we got alligators, we got probably 37 different species of primates. We got chimpanzees, we got snakes, we got lizards, we got skunks, we got wolves, we got chickens, ducks, kangaroos. We got a lot of stuff here.
That's amazing.
We do. We have a lot of stuff here.
What do you guys want to ask?
Well, we already got the allegations out of the way.
Yeah, we
PETA.
talked to you about this.
Yeah, you know, it's pretty much goes back to the scam thing. You know, it's the same way with PETA. You know, their kill rate last year was 73%. Out of every dog they took in, they only adopted out 60, and that's sending them to other shelters. That's not adopting them themselves. They pawned them off on other animal shelters. Okay, and they killed 73%. I have a no kill rate, period. Okay, but I'm the bad guy because they're in cages. Okay, and you know, part of my platform is running for president and trying to wake people up around here. Is in our country, a dog in a cage has more rights than your mother or your grandmother in a nursing home.
Yeah.
And that, we have a problem in America, when the human life of an elderly person has less rights than a dog. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, when you really sit back and think about that quote right there, it really, really rips your heart out. What we're doing to our old people, and everybody's on the news bitching about a dog in a cage.
Yeah. So tell us more about your candidacy.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we could talk all day.
I love it.
You know, the American person, me and you, don't have a voice. Nobody wants to listen to us because we're not rich, we're not famous. You know, I've made movies all over the world, but what made me want to run as president of this country started out in October of 2014. I had prostate surgery and all of my organs quit. And I spent 37 days in the hospital hooked to machines trying to stay alive. People all over the world praying for me on Facebook and everything else. And I walked out of there the first time. I've been in ICU 5 times since then. And I'm paying $918 a month in insurance, and my insurance refused to pay a dime. So now I'm sitting on $1 million hospital bill that has completely ruined my life. Because you can't buy nothing, you can't get a loan, you can't do anything. And you've been paying these people for $918 a month for 10 years. Okay, while the CEO of Aetna sits up there and his salary is $66 million a year. And me and you can't get insurance. And so that's what really started it, that and the lives of the animal rights people and everything else. You know, if you look at our politicians, they all have a HLS, a humane legislative scorecard, okay? It tells you how many times they vote for animal rights bills. Bernie Sanders has voted 110%, okay? So he's taking my rights away and he don't know anything about what I do. It's the same way with Social Security. You know, our government, and being young kids, you may not even realize this. When you have a job and they take money out of your check for Social Security, your employer has to match that. The government doesn't put in a dime. And our government has stole $2.7 trillion of your mom and dad and your grandma and grandpa's Social Security money. And they're cutting their Social Security checks because the government borrowed that money and made bad investments and can't pay it back. So each time it gets paid back. And how it needs to get paid back is Congress people, election people in Congress, whether they get voted out or they finish their term, get paid the rest of their lives, okay? And they get insurance for the rest of their lives, paid by you, the taxpayer. Meanwhile, they're taking your grandma's Social Security money away from her each month to pay all them bills, okay? Then another problem that I have is we have 18-year-old kids signing up for the military, and they're going over to Iraq and Afghanistan and everywhere else, and they're coming back with arms missing and legs missing, and our country does nothing for our veterans, nothing. 2 days before Christmas, you know, our homeless vets are living in Denver, Colorado in little tent cities. And 2 days before Christmas in a snow blizzard, the city has an ordinance that they can't live in tent cities. So they uprooted them in the middle of a snow blizzard because it was an eyesore. 2 days before Christmas, okay? So you have 18-year-old people that are going to the military and losing their life, losing their families because they're gone so bad, and you know, something comes up with their family, or they come back with PTSD or missing limbs and all that shit. And they don't get a check ever from that point on, okay? But our congressmen get paid the rest of their lives? Bullshit, it's all horse shit, and I'm not gonna stand back and let this happen anymore. Do I have a chance of winning? Hell no. Okay, look what they're doing to the Republican Party right now. The American people are voting for Trump. That's what they want, okay? But the GOP is threatening to not give him the nomination if it's a contested convention. So that right there tells you that your vote don't count in this country. You don't have a voice in this country, because if you did, Trump would be our president, whether you like the man or not, okay? What he did do was he broke ground to show how crooked our political system is. You know, and the electoral college is where the crooked system starts. And we need to get rid of the electoral college, because in a state, if Hillary Clinton wins and the electoral representative from that state after the election goes to Congress and says, no, we're nominating Bernie Sanders, it didn't matter who voted in that state. It's all ran by the electoral college. So we people of America don't have a voice. Okay, our next problem is the IRS. Needs to be abolished completely, okay? 8% tax on you, me, the rich guy, the poor guy, everybody. Straight across your board, 8% tax, okay? One computer system, a handful of people filing everybody's taxes, because it's 8% on everything that you profit, okay? So what do we do there? Okay, so along with the IRS, you have 1.5 million nonprofits in this country, okay, which are nothing but a tax scam, okay? The NFL is nonprofit. Why the hell is the NFL nonprofit? Okay, they're making $44 million a year to play football, paid by you, the taxpayer. It's subsidized by you, not and me, okay? Why is PETA nonprofit? Why is the Humane Society of the United States nonprofit? Why is Hillary Clinton nonprofit? She's sitting on $432 million, okay? So, the only nonprofits, in my opinion, we need in this country are life-saving hospitals, like Shriners and Children's Hospitals and stuff like that, and life-saving research, okay? You take and get rid of all the other nonprofits, and I'm nonprofit. I'll give up my nonprofit. I ain't making any money, so what the hell good is it doing me, all right? So, get rid of all them nonprofits and charge them 8% on all that money from now on. And you know I could get this country out of debt in 2.5 years just off of that? That's how big the scam is. But you know why nobody will listen? Nobody will interview me on the news? And I could never win this election if I wanted to? Because the only people that I am going after are the people who are making the millions of dollars, and they got a hell of a lot more friends than I got. And that's what's wrong with this country. Wow. You can see the news media, you know, who the news media wants to win, Hillary Clinton, because, you know, they're dogging everybody else. You know, in New York yesterday, during a major election, they misquoted Trump the night before You know, he was talking about 9/11 and the World Trade Center, and he says, I was at 7-Eleven. He was talking about the cross street 7-Eleven, 3 blocks from ground zero. You know, if you listen to the man's speech, he said, I witnessed the most heroic people, the firefighter. He goes, I was at 7-Eleven with the firefighters and the police witnessing. Okay, why would you be at 7-Eleven, the store, with the firefighters when the plane hit the World Trade Center? Okay, he was at the intersection of 7-Eleven, which was 3 blocks away from the World Trade Center. And the news media did everything they could to ruin his day yesterday. And that is wrong.
Right. Wow. Well, what else do you guys
I
want to
have
know?
one last question. Is there a difference between your tigers in captivity's lifespan and the ones in the wild?
Okay, good question. Okay, a tiger in the wild only lives 10 to 14 years. Okay, why? Disease, starvation, poaching, and habitat destruction. Okay, a tiger, my oldest tiger is 23
Wow. Wow, that's crazy.
because he has a full diet.
Yeah.
He has a veterinarian here every day making sure that he's healthy. You know, he gets his vaccinations, and you don't have to worry about being a skin on somebody's wall.
Yeah. That's great.
So the idea once again, would we all like to see tigers run around in the wild? You betcha. I would kill to go to a country and see a tiger in the wild, you know? But in order to save them, they're going to have to be in captivity. And that's just realistic. I live in a real world.
Right.
I don't live in a fantasy world.
Are there other big tiger rescue places?
Not that has as many as I do, or even close. There's one over in Tennessee. There's one in Colorado. There is one in Indiana. Do I agree with what they're doing? No, because they're scamming the public on everything that they're talking about, I built this in memory of my brother, and I just can't lie because I believe that there's black clouds hang over you, And I intend on talking to my brother one day. And I'm not going to use him or these animals to better my life. I'm just not going to do it.
Nice.
So is it just tigers that you rescue, or all of the other exotic?
I've never said no to any animal.
Okay. Wow, that's awesome. That's great.
Yep. And what we do too, because probably 8 or 9 years ago, we got a call that somebody got killed over in Columbus, Missouri, at a sanctuary, and they had 42 tigers. And we go over there and we get all 42 tigers and we bring them here, because I'm the only one in the United States that has the semis and the equipment and everything to go do something that big. We bring them here and we get them up to health, and the ones that are not, cross-eyed or missing a tail or missing half their ears or something like that, we donate them to zoos all over the world. I have sent cats to Bulgaria. I donated there's only 2 male ligers in this entire world, and they were both born here. I have one, and I gave one to the Crown Prince of Dubai as a gift.
Oh my God.
So we're the only 2 that have one, all right? So the thing is, and a lot of people don't understand this as well either, I'm a private zoo. The Oklahoma City's a private zoo. Okay, they're AZA accredited, I'm not. Okay, a lot of people think that the AZA is a government agency that says, oh, you're good, you're licensed. It's not. It's a country club of zoos, okay? But in order to be a member of that country club, your animals have to be wild caught. So every animal in Oklahoma City Zoo come from the wild, okay? And my theory of breeding in captivity and donating these tigers that I rescue to a zoo. You go to a zoo, do you care if it's a Bengal tiger or a Siberian tiger, or are you looking at a tiger with orange and black stripes?
Yeah, tiger, yeah.
Okay, all right? Honestly. So if I can donate unwanted tigers to zoos that will take an unwanted tiger and put them in a $2 million display instead of a overcrowded sanctuary, I've done one thing good, okay? I've done another thing good because they don't have to go catch them out of the wild anymore.
Yeah.
So we're saving animals in the wild by breeding them in captivity.
Yeah.
If we can just get the AZA and our politicians. See, our politicians think that the AZA is a government agency. And you can't talk to a politician, they're just closed-minded. Okay, so if I can get the word out that the AZA zoos need to start taking donated unwanted tigers instead of catching them out of the wild, we could save some of the wild tigers, right? Instead of them flying one in from Peru, you know? Hey, that exact same lady that's flying that tiger in just was on Yahoo News last week saying there's too many tigers in America. Well, if there's too many tigers in America, why the hell are you flying another one in?
Yeah.
It's about money. She can raise another $1 million on a tiger coming from Peru. She'll keep it till the money train runs out, and then she'll euthanize it. She's killed 167 cats so far.
Wow. I'm sorry.
Very sad world I live in. It really is. People have no idea what I see and what I go through in a day.
Yeah. That's true. That's why we chose you.
You know, and it goes back to our local ranchers, you know. They got horses out in the field, they got cows out in the field. You know, when one has a prolapse, I don't know if you know what that is, but it's when their insides come out their backside, you know, or they break a leg, or like a couple of years ago, they made it illegal to slaughter a horse for human consumption anymore. So they got all these horses standing out in the fields. Okay, this is where the animal rights people do more harm than they do good. So now they got all these horses standing out in fields with their halters growing in their face and broken legs and starving to death and sick because nobody wants to pay the vet bills or the feed bill for something that's not worth anything. Okay, so Joe gets the bad end of the stick, okay? They'll bring, you know, I could show you pictures that would make you puke. They bring in horses with halters growed clear into their eyeballs. And then, you know, I'm the one that has to shoot them, you know, to put them out of their misery. Because in order to put them to sleep, if our vet gave them a shot to put them to sleep, I couldn't use the meat to feed the cats, which is the circle of life, okay? So instead of just putting a horse in a hole in the back field, we feed them to another starving animal, all right? And I'm the one that has to shoot them and watch the blood squirting out of their heads, while the animal rights people got me on the internet making me a bad guy, collecting the money and living high off the hog. And that's what I have a problem with.
Yeah.
Very dark world I live in.
Do you ever wonder about